Hello Capricorn, welcome to your weekly tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is for the week of January 22nd through 28th. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now we're going to be doing a general reading for you, and it's very important for you to be open and receptive to whatever might come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each card and use your own intuition to take you beyond what I'm saying, okay? Remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. I've got a Four of Cups. All right, interesting. Let's put that into some context with our Dove and Serpent spread. Well, I got another 4, got a 5, more 5s. Wow, kind of doubling up on things today. We're going to do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card, and I think that we should use the Antique Anatomy Tarot deck, and this has been pre-shuffled. So we're just going to take a card from the middle here. We're not going to look at it until the very end of the reading, so stick around. And hopefully that will tie the reading together and, give us the confirmation that we're looking for at the very end. So we've got some air, some major water, some water, air, fire, water, major. So I think a pretty good balance of things, though I'm not seeing a lot of earth energy, okay? We have some earth energy, but I think that there's going to be a large focus this week on bringing things down from the abstract to the concrete realm, right? From theory into practice. So it's very hard that very important, I think it's going to be rather difficult when we're through with this reading to think of ways that you can put all of this into practice, right? How can we express some of this energy in our daily lives in the concrete, physical world, right? In the practical, pragmatic sense. I think that's going to be important. The first card that we had is a Four of Cups here. I think that you are, honestly, I'm feeling like you're somebody who is you're kind of at an introverted period of your life, right? I feel like you're kind of reserved. I'm getting this feeling like you have kind of been a little bit disappointed by things, right? You're kind of in this stage now where you're keeping to yourself a little bit more than usual. I think that you have some of these introverted kind of tendencies where you like to be alone, you like to be with your thoughts, you like to get in touch with your feelings, you like to kind of do things on your own, figure things out on your own. Real Four of Cups, real stable and steady. You like to know that about yourself. You like to be in touch with yourself, But at the same time, I feel like you also have kind of an extroverted streak too. I think if the right things come along, you really do wake up and you shine and you're the life of the party, But as a general energy, this week I'm feeling a little bit more reservation in you, right? Just a little bit more, we use the kind of marine analogy with the Four of Cups here. It's like your boat's anchored, there are no holes in the boat, you're not sinking. But you're not really headed towards the party, headed towards the storm either. You're just chilling right now, getting centered, getting kind of grounded, getting back in touch with yourself, sorting things out, thinking things through in a more private, kind of solitary way. Okay, a little bit more introverted. But again, I feel like when the right circumstances hit you, you light up like a Christmas tree and, you are just, you're out there. You're the life of the party. But this week I feel a little bit more reservation, okay? Now, I think that there is something wrapping up in your life. We've got this another 4, right? So this is really, even the cards that we see at the beginning are referencing the earth, right? The 4 elements. So this again is talking about, look, these are more abstract energies, but we're really talking about how do we manifest them? How do we get them down onto the practical level? Okay. So I think something is wrapping up for you this week. There's some kind of closure happening, some kind of a cycle that's ending. I feel like there was something that maybe wasn't the most positive experience for you, but the kind of the good news about it is that it's over, right? There was something a little bit less than ideal that now is wrapping up, and you're finally getting through with it. And that could be why there's a little bit of this quietness, a little bit of this introspection, a little bit of this introversion, because we're just kind of waiting for this thing to, we're waiting for the door to finally swing all the way closed on something, okay? And I don't know quite what that was, but I do feel like this is the week that it's going to be done. Okay, you're going to have the closure to this thing. Whatever this, could be a relationship with a person. I am getting a T name with this person, with this event, with this circumstance, is something with a T in it. Whatever this person, event, whatever this circumstance is, it's going to be closing. There's going to be that closure, the completion of this cycle, of this thing this week, okay? And again, I think that's why you're just kind of anchored here for now. You're not sinking, but you're not moving forward yet either, because you're waiting for this to finish up so that you can get your bearings, so that you can figure out where you want to go now, what you want to do, how you want to move forward. Let's see. Let's go to beneath the surface here. We have this world or universe card. This is some of the earth energy, right? This card's associated with the earth, a little bit indirectly. I think you are someone who likes to know where they kind of fit into the world. Okay, I feel like you're somebody who is very practical. I feel like you have a very generous spirit to you. I feel like you really do like to give. I feel like almost like your home is open to everyone, right? Your life is kind of is open, and you love hosting people. You love receiving people. You love taking care of people and welcoming people. I feel a very welcoming vibe with you, right? You're very personable, but at the same time, you like to have order and structure. You like to know what's going on. You like to know who's coming over, right? You don't want to be surprised. You want to have your environment in the nice, steady routine that you can expect, the comfortable kind of environment that you're used to. And whatever was happening this week, whatever this closure is, I feel like was related to this home environment, or this, it could be a work environment too. But there's something that was almost like an imposition. It was almost, I get this feeling like an unwelcomed guest, right? Maybe not literally, but I feel like kind of an unwelcomed energy here. And you're waiting for it to kind of get its things packed and leave, so that you can kind of get back to this comfortable, routine, expected, familiar environment that you're used to. But you still, you have this very accepting, this very generous spirit, very welcoming, right? But I think enough is enough, And I think you have the ability to say, okay, hey, it's time to go now, to whatever this energy is. And I think it is. I think I think with this Four of Wands, you kind of told it, look, it's time to go. And it's packing its bags and it's getting out. Now, it could literally be a person in your home. It could be something going on in your career, in your work environment, in your personal life, friends, family members, could literally be in the home, Where to go next? Let's go up here to this Five of Swords. I think that you also have a bit of a tendency to underestimate yourself, okay? I think that you surprise yourself a lot. I think when you're in situations maybe like this, where there's this unwanted energy in your life, I think that you might consciously have a tendency to just succumb to it, to yield to it, to kind of submit to it, accept it. So you're kind of underestimating yourself, and I don't think you always speak up for yourself. it's almost like there's sometimes a little dip in your self-esteem or in your confidence. But I think this week, I think with this particular circumstances, you're really flipping this upside down and you're in control and you're dominating. And I think you're really the one that's saying, hey, pack your stuff and get out. Whatever this unwanted energy is, whatever this situation is, whatever this issue was that has been unpleasant, it's now wrapping up. And I think it's because you're asserting yourself, right? You're exerting your confidence and your control and your power. But I don't think you're always that way. I think you have a tendency to underestimate yourself. But when it really comes down to it, when, right where the rubber meets the road, you are in control and you are strong and you are dominating and you're confident and assertive. But I think there are times where you don't really feel that way. I feel sometimes you don't quite believe that about yourself. And that kind of goes back to what we're talking about with being very generous and very welcoming. I think there might be a tendency to let people kind of impose on you a little bit. But when it really comes down to it, when it really is time for the action, you can flip this around and say, hey, get out of my life. Whatever this energy is, if this is an actual person, which I don't think it's a particular person, although Capricorn, we have that air sign person that's always in your readings, literally always here. We see that person again, okay, but I don't know that they're involved in this particular situation, this energy, this issue that's wrapping up, this phase, this cycle, whatever it is that's going on. Now, we're going to go to see if we can figure out what these events are. It's something that affected you emotionally, okay? It's something that was rather unpleasant. It's something that you kind of were expecting. It feels like you're in one of those situations where you're planning for the worst. You're expecting it to go better than it did, but you've planned for this kind of, And so that's why I feel with this Four of Cups that you're just you're waiting now. You're a little bit introverted. You're keeping to yourself. You're just doing your breathing and taking care of yourself and waiting for this situation to wrap up because you've already asserted yourself and said, hey, get out. And now you're just waiting for that to happen. So it's something that you've planned for. It's something that you kind of knew was going to have to happen eventually, but it still was unpleasant, right? You were still hoping that it didn't quite happen that way. And now, I don't know, maybe this was a breakup. Maybe this is some kind of an issue at work, a splitting up of the business, or something very emotional, okay? Something that did get you upset. Even though you were expecting it, it still sucked. It still hurt, So the good news is that I think you kind of planned for this. You knew it was kind of probably going to happen. You still crossing your fingers that it wouldn't. But it did. And you're ready for it. And because you were ready for it, because you were kind of expecting it, no holes in the boat. Boat's not sinking. Stable, steady, safe, secure. Just waiting for it to wrap up, And I think it's wrapping up this week. And then what we see in the immediate future is this, Six of Wands. This, I think, really is you kind of coming to a better place with all of this, right? Once this is all done and over with, all of this, these fours and fives are not very fun energies, But then the six, now we get to the confidence. Now we get to the real beauty and the real energy and the real, I feel like this lightness and this joy with you now. It's like now that this is over, you're just kind of like jumping up and down, like ready for life again. And this is you kind of getting the engine, getting the sails going on your ship, and you're starting to move toward that party, toward that excitement, toward whatever adventure is coming next in your life, And this is a real confidence. This is the kind of confidence that comes when you've been through such a trying period, such a struggle, and you now can look back on it and be like, man, I was really strong. I really tried my best and I did it. I got through this. Maybe didn't think that you would make it. Maybe you were underestimating yourself and this was just really sucked. But coming through that, you can see how strong you are, right? And I think that in within the next 6 months, probably 6 weeks, within the next 6 weeks, I would say, you're really going to enter into some kind of situation that is going to bring you joy like you never thought you would have. And I feel like this is in some way related to another person. I feel like there's somebody coming into your life in the next, I'm going to say 6 weeks, that you're really going to have this kind of exciting bond with, right? And I don't know if this is romantic, but I feel like you have such confidence about you now. Maybe this is mostly about your career or your workplace. But I feel like you're going to meet with someone who is just going to like match you like pound for pound and just with this intense excitement and this fiery energy. And like the two of you are just going to kind of like just gas each other up, and it's just going to be this really strong connection. Okay. And I feel like it's going to be someone who's really on the same page as you, someone that brings out the best qualities in you and you bring out the best qualities in them. Could be a new friend, a new coworker, colleague, associate, could be a new lover, new romantic interest. But it's someone in the next few weeks that I think is really, you're going to attract them because you have this renewed confidence, right? And the two of you, I think, are just going to hit it off immediately. And it's going to be this intense kind of harmony. It's like just this music, like these bells are going to be just such harmony, right? Resonance. And that, I think, is taking us over to the path of the serpent. Okay. Now, I do just want to say that these cards are always correct. I don't care who you are, you never can pull an incorrect tarot card. It doesn't work that way. But sometimes as the interpreter, I can't always understand the meaning or the relevance of each card to your life. Okay. So I ask that you try to connect directly with the cards, use your own intuition, go beyond what I'm telling you. All right. Path of the Serpent now. This is a real good time coming for you. I think you're ready. This is the Seven of Cups. I think you're really ready to finally relax, finally have a good time, okay? I think that you're someone who knows how to have a good time. I think you know how to enjoy yourself. You know what you like. You know what you don't like. You know what brings you pleasure. You know where you find meaning. You know what kind of experiences you want. I think because of this past, because of what we see in the path of the dove, you've been kind of denying yourself a little bit lately. You've been sacrificing your own joy, your own pleasure, indulgence, because of whatever this circumstance is, whatever this incident was, this phase, this issue that's wrapping up. You've had to sacrifice a lot, okay? I think that you are someone, and again, this is kind of going with the underestimating yourself. With this Five of Swords that we saw, I think that you are someone who denies themselves for the greater good. You're willing to sacrifice your own kind of joy and pleasure to focus for now on what needs to be done, right? You can kind of put your needs, maybe not last, but second, right? I think the time for that is over. I think that you're coming into this energy where you really are going to treat yourself for a while. You are going to make it about you, and that's okay. I think that's needed. I think you've done a lot of sacrificing in your life in general. I think that you don't always put yourself first, but I think your general energy now, you're going to be doing that. And I think you need to do that. I think you need to reconnect with what things do bring you joy and pleasure, right? Where do you find meaning in life? What is your purpose? What is your joy? I think you're going to be going after that. You're going to be focusing on that, and you're going to put yourself first, at least for a while, okay? Now, the next card that we have is kind of related to your environment. What is going on around you? What are the events that you can look forward to? Well, we have this Six of Wands, right? And I think you're going to be meeting that person that you have an instant bond with. Instant attraction, Instant connection doesn't have to be romantic. It could be in the workplace, a friend, anybody. You're going to have that connection. It's going to be someone that you can really kind of go and have fun with, someone that you really feel is a strong bond. They're like just like you, right? And I think your environment is going to be one of kind of letting loose, kind of finding these things that bring you such intense joy and passion. I think that there is going to be a very strong, maybe a very strong Leo influence in your life. Okay, maybe this person here that we're talking about here, maybe that's going to be a Leo person. Maybe that is someone that has such an intensity about them, such a pride and joy and love and just brightness and radiance, that it's going to bring those qualities out of you, okay, which I think you have innately. But I think because of everything that we've seen going on here, you've kind of had to push your true nature down a little bit. You've had to make these sacrifices. You've had to put yourself, if not last, then at least kind of second priority. But I think this Leo energy is going to bring this back out of you, right? And I think that this is really an environment of opportunity for you. This is an opportunity for you to challenge yourself, for you to push yourself to new and kind of unexpected interests, hobbies, passions, career paths, whatever it is that you're doing, wherever this really is taking the most focus for you, if it's in your personal life or in your work life, I think you're really going to be owning your confidence and you're going to be owning your power. And I think life is going to provide you, present you with a lot of opportunities to assert yourself. A lot of little tests, let's say. Are you going to have the confidence? Are you going to be able to stand up for yourself? Are you going to be assertive and make decisions and be strong-willed, right? Are you going to have control over your fire and express that? So I think there's going to be a lot of little events happening in your life. A lot of these little challenges, little tests where someone is going to, not intentionally and not in a violent way, of course, but someone's going to just test your assertiveness, to push back a little bit to see if you yield and go back to this kind of 5 energy, or if you can push right back and stand up for yourself, stand your ground, and assert yourself. It kind of feels like a career thing to me, right? And this is going to be kind of, it's going to be the battleground in some ways. But it's going to be new opportunities for you to express this real confidence, this real fire energy that we have. That, again, we see kind of coming out of all of this 5s and 4s, this water and air energy over here, path of the dove, really ends with this tremendous fiery energy in you kind of blossoming, shining now, right? Really radiating. And I think there's going to be that person that is either the kind of mirror for that, or they're going to in some way bring that out of you. They might be the one who kind of challenges you, to be this radiant, confident person that you are when you're putting yourself first, when you're not sacrificing all of your joy and happiness for the sake of the whole. Okay, putting yourself first a little bit. So there's going to be this in your environment, some opportunities to assert your power and your control, right? And then to also not go overboard with that, right? Is it just the right amount, right? You don't want to kind of overreact to things. So it's a lot about control and asserting yourself. The next card is the Death card. Scary card. No, not really. This is an amazing card. This card tells me that you're the kind of person that can completely scrap everything and start over again and be just fine. You know what I mean? I feel like endings and beginnings for you are par for the course. I feel like this is where you thrive. You thrive in the unknown, right? We said here that you like to have things orderly, that you're very inviting into your home and very welcoming. You like to have your order and structure around you. Yes, but you can create this anywhere. I don't think it's the first time that you will have had to tear everything down and rebuild your life, your home, your being, your person, who you are, right? I feel like you thrive in this kind of very fertile soil where you can become whoever you want to be. You can change yourself at any moment, right? You can start over. Like every day is a new beginning. Every day is a new day to be somebody different, right? So I think you really thrive in this environment of exploring different versions of yourself, different realities almost, you know? I think every day you wake up and you just think, oh, who am I going to be today? What am I going to be? What am I going to do? Who am I going to be? And I think that's going to be something that you really get to enjoy now. Now that this situation's wrapping up from the path of the dove, we have all of this good energy on the path of the serpent, I think you're going to be able to explore this more. And I think this is a major factor in your life. I think this is something that's really going to be satisfying and fulfilling. I think you need this. I think part of the trouble lately is that you haven't had this. You haven't had this kind of freedom or this strength or motivation or this energy or this fire, this spirit, whatever you want to call it, to wake up every moment, every morning, and choose who you're going to be. Choose what you're going to be and what you're going to do, right? Every moment is like a rebirth moment. And now, unfortunately, we have to get to this air sign person who is still in your life, though if they're related to this situation, this issue that wrapped up, maybe they are, maybe. But they're still a part of your life in some way. I really think this is a family member that you can't get rid of them. They're blood, right? But this is someone who is not like you. This is somebody who doesn't feel very welcoming, feels like they have too much confidence, right? They're too sure of themselves. It kind of comes off as like a know-it-all or an arrogance or someone who just knows better than you. It's kind of a false confidence, you know? I feel like this is someone who doesn't know themselves. I feel like this is someone who is trying to create themselves according to a certain mold of what they, either what others have expected them to be or what they've kind of expected themselves to be. Like they're not able to have this kind of moment to moment rebirth, right? Like you are. They're not really one that can stand up to the pressure. I think they present themselves like they can handle it, but when it really comes down to it, I think they kind of crumble. Okay, but with this card, with this energy, they put themselves above everyone else. And the reason why they do that is because if they were down here interacting with everyone else, they would lose this confidence. They would be kind of squished by the pressure. So they have to kind of be above and beyond everyone else because they couldn't handle it down here with you, you know? So I think that, you know, the reason why this card is at the end of the path of the serpent is because despite all of this, you kind of still have this, it's almost like a dark cloud kind of person lingering around. And I think as long as you're on this path of the serpent and you're putting yourself first, this person's going to lose power. Because again, they are just above and beyond, kind of looking down at everyone. All they can do is kind of talk and look. They can't really affect anything down here in the real world, right? I think it's a false kind of power, false confidence that they have. Let's look at the confirmation card, the mystery card. I wonder if this is going to be something related to this air sign person. Let's just find out what this could be. So it's a 10 of the rods or 10 of wands, the fiery energy, really beautiful card, antique anatomy. We had some fire energy that we started with, right? We started with the 4 of wands, we went to the 6 of wands, and then we went to this Leo fire, this lust or strength energy. So a lot of fire energy. And I think that this card here is really talking about you really remaining as this generous, open, inviting, welcoming person. You know, I don't think you're changing even, you know, despite this moment-to-moment rebirth with this death card, you know. Despite all of this other energy that we see, I don't think you're changing who you fundamentally are. I think you're always going to be this very loving, generous, giving, welcoming, accepting, beautiful, beautiful soul. Okay? And I think that it's such an amazing quality, right? I think this is such a tremendous way to be, that you have this abundant energy and you want to share it with everyone. You want to bring everyone in, and it's very, very welcoming and warm, right? The other side of that, though, is that you may be opening yourself up to people like this who, they don't have any real power, but they could kind of still potentially drain your vitality, right? Almost like a energy vampire kind of thing. They can't really affect anything, but they might just be quite exhausting. Okay? And I think because you're a very sensitive person, you have very open aura about you. I feel like your fire is very open. That people like this could find a way to just kind of drain some of that energy and that vitality from you, right? So the Ten of Wands, or the Ten of Rods, again, really beautiful card, is kind of a mixed bag, you know, because I love that quality, that openness, that warmth, that generosity, that welcoming, that all-inclusive kind of vibe that you have. But it could sometimes get you in trouble or leave you drained, leave you depleted. So this is really important with this Lust or Strength card, because this is the control of that fire. This is knowing when to kind of close the circle and say, okay, no one else can come over. My house is full. Okay, knowing when to kick some people out so that this fire doesn't die down. Right? So this is not about just the unbridled expression of fire energy. This is knowing when to use it, when to pull it back, when to give it, when to keep it for yourself. Okay? And we started to talk about that with the events that are coming, that are going to be kind of challenging your confidence and your assertiveness. And I did mention that we don't want to go overboard with it either. So it really is about that control, about the equilibrium, about knowing when to push back, knowing when to yield just a little bit, knowing how much force to apply to circumstances. Okay, so I think it's very important for you to get in touch with that fire energy and really use it, own it, be fully kind of realize that fully in control and in possession of your power. Okay. Capricorn, we're going to take a look at this in the extended. If you want to become a member to the channel, you can click on the link that is right up here, and you can have access to all of the extended readings for all the signs, for all the readings. This was your weekly tarot reading, January 22nd through 28th on Dove and Serpent Tarot.